Okay, here goes nothing. Here's the biscuits. I read on the back of the biscuits it says you're going to need 2 cups of this flour. We'll go ahead and get that into our mixing bowl here. Have our butter ready. A couple recipes said that you should add salt to the biscuits. I looked at the pack of biscuits. I look at the sodium content. It says 15% sodium up there. So I'm thinking that they are already added the sodium, so I don't need to be doing that. But if it's not flavorful enough, then next time I'm definitely going to be adding different things to make it. So, alright, there's 1 cup. That have to be perfect. 2 cups. Alright, what else does it call for? I'm going to try their biscuit recipe first and then may come up with my own, depending on, I don't know how many ways you could do it. This says 1 table of sugar is optional. I didn't, I never really thought about adding sugar to biscuits, so maybe it does something that I'm not familiar with. Maybe it has an alternative purpose besides just having a sweet flavor. Alright, 1/4 cup of vegetable oil or butter. So I'm going to take butter. I'm going to try to, instead of 1 big piece, try to separate a little bit. One more. There we go. Right, so we have our flour, we have our butter. What else is next? Milk. Now we need milk. So, now I have these 2 things together. We need milk. Now, how much milk did it say we need? 3/4 of a cup. Two-thirds to 3/4. Alright, so I have here 1/2 cup. Put 1 of those in there, and then we'll do a 1/2 of one. That should be 3/4. Okay, put our milk away. It's so exciting. I'm kind of nervous, excited at the same time. Don't really know how this is going to work. Says heat oven to 450. We'll go ahead and preheat our oven, and let's come back over here. What else do we have? We have a baking tray here that's already non-stick, and it's saying to coat it with some kind of a butter. What I'm going to do is, I'm going to take just a little bit of this olive oil. Make sure your hands are clean. Alright, I'm just going to spread around on my pan that olive oil that I put in there so the biscuits don't stick. I'm also cutting the sides, not just the bottom, but actually the lip around the edge, so that there's no chance of it sticking. This actually has like a little deviation here on the edges. I'm getting that too. Okay, so our pan's prepped and ready. There's a few things that I don't have. And understand that it does make a slight difference. So when you're actually cutting the biscuit or making the circle shape of the biscuit, it's best to have a real sharp tool that's going to cut through it. That's going to help your biscuit to rise. I understand that if you use something that's sort of dull, it's going to press the biscuit down. It's not going to rise as much as it normally would. So so that I can keep the biscuits rising perfectly, I don't have one of those sharp metal devices. I was going to use a cup. I thought about it, I'm just going to use a sharp knife and just go into a circular mode. I mean, it's not going to be a perfect circle. Who cares? But let's get these. Let's get this mixed. Oh, a little bit of flour got out, but that's a great idea. That brings me to my next point. I think you want to get the want to get the counter dusted with a little bit of flour so the biscuits don't stick to the counter. Alright. Alright, and I cleaned it beforehand. Always want to make sure you prepare your surface. If you're not going to use directly on the counter, you can use like a tray or something. Make sure you have those kinds of things. Alright. It's kind of warning me to handle it as little as possible. And always have flour sort of in the mix or in the process. Let's see here. Have flour on your hands when you touch them is what the bag says, I guess is what I mean. It's definitely a little bit wetter dough. Alright, so that's not gonna work. I think it's a little bit more flour. I got a little too wet of dough. Hopefully it's getting a little bit better. And that's kind of what happened to me last time. Sorry, I gotta remember to talk. I'm so into this. There we go, little balls. That's kind of what they said it should be like, individual almost, kind of like coming, separating and not really forming as one big ball. So that's more like what we want to see. Last time I had it so runny that it just didn't work out, man. It stuck to your hands. Couldn't really work with it. Hopefully you can see what's going on here. It said to push it into like a flour ball, which I'm doing with the dough now. It said handle it as little as possible. You're supposed to put it down on that flat surface. It needed a little bit more flour. That's exactly what it needed. Just put it down. I don't have a rolling pan either. And these are things, I mean a rolling pin, whatever you call them. Need a little bit more flour. Just a tiny bit. You have to keep washing your hands quite a bit. You get this paste on your hands. Alright, the oven's preheated. Man, I hope this works out. I don't know how this is going to work, but we're hoping for the best, right? Alright, perfect. I'm going to add a little bit more flour to this situation. Supposed to fold it over and then flatten it out. Need a little bit more flour there. Flatten it out. Fold it over again. Push it down. Hopefully you can see this. Pushing it down. Now fold it over one more time. And I guarantee this is a feel thing that once you do it a couple times, you will understand what it's supposed to feel like and be like. Alright, now that seems more like it. Now the inside is still a little bit gooey, you can feel it, like doughy, but the outside is now, it's not coming off on my hands. And I have a little bit of this flour on my hands. But I'm trying to spread it out so that we can have a few biscuits out of this, since they have to be round, right? traditional biscuits around. Maybe a little bit more flour on there. Okay. Now we're going to do the cutting. You double check on the instructions just to see. I think after I learned their way of doing it, then that's when you can kind of critique it and add little things and perfect little things. That's what I like to do at least. This is like foreign to me. I've always bought my own biscuits in the can, and I've never done this. Okay, so we have that, and let's get cutting. Let's see if this works. I don't know. I have no clue. Alright. See if this wants to cooperate. A pan right here. Throw it in the pan. Hopefully this won't be an epic fail like last time. It's already better. I can tell each time it's getting a little bit better. I can kind of understand more of like what it's supposed to be like. And maybe the dough itself is supposed to be thicker than what it is right now. I don't know. That's something we're going to find out also. And that's something really sad as we lose our older generation. They're aging out, and not only are we losing great people that built the country we're in now, but we're also losing people that are losing lots of valuable information. So I could tell that the dough is still it needed more powder or something. It needed more flour. It's trying to stick to the counter. I don't like that. So I'm going to take the individual biscuit and make it like it's supposed to be, if that makes sense. I see why they say handle it as little as possible. And so this means we'll have a couple different types of biscuit. I'm going to go ahead and get this flipped back over because I don't like the way it was sticking to the counter there. So I'm going to add a little bit more flour to it. Fold it over like it told me to do earlier. Flatten it out. Now this gives us the ability to have a little bit thicker biscuit. Let's see if this makes a difference. So we're going to be able to have a couple different things going on here, experiment wise, to figure out what works. Alright, it's not sticking to the counter. It's sliding around. That one feels totally different than those first two, and it is a lot thicker. Notice it is a lot thicker. Alright, I'm just going to come to the middle here and try to make one more big biscuit with this. I know some of you are probably biscuit pros out there. I'm sorry, I'm just learning, and hopefully we can learn together. Don't be too harsh on me. So we have 6 biscuits made here. I don't like this first one. It looks ugly. This thing looks ugly. It's gooey and doughy. Let's put it back into here. I might be totally screwing up right now by handling it too much. It told me not to handle it too much. It's just too wet. I'd like to go to Bojangles for a week and just learn exactly how they make. Just get a job for 1 week. Tell them I want to be on biscuits. Alright. Because I think Bojangles makes supreme biscuits. Perfect biscuits. Alright, I'm going to divide this one in half. Who says it has to be the traditional biscuit shape, Let's just see if we can squeeze this on here. The oven is cooking away over there. I can't wait to get these in here. Alright, perfect. I don't know if you're supposed to leave a little space between the biscuits. That kind of makes sense, like be a thing. This one right here is so ooey gooey too. I'm going to throw a little bit more powder, a little bit more flour. I keep saying powder, like I don't know what it is. Alright, fold it over. I'm going to get it in the general shape I want it. And there you go. Alright, nothing left to do but to throw these biscuits in the oven and see if there's any difference from last time. I can already tell there's going to be a difference because I did not use self-rising flour. Did not use it last time. Man, this is a dirty process. Get the whole counter messed up. Alright, so we're going to take our biscuits here. That's what they end up looking like. I know they're not very appealing looking, but hopefully they taste better. So we're throwing these bad boys in the oven right now. And we'll see how it turns out. So I've got it on 400 degrees. Man, look at this big mess we made over here. Excuse me. You know that's not going to fly. So we gotta get cleaned up, if you don't mind. We're gonna get clean. I don't like being dirty. Okay, so let's see what the smartest thing to do here. Yeah, man, you better have a dedicated area for this. This is kind of getting flour everywhere. I have to break out the vacuum cleaner. Alright, that's better. Much better. Alright, so we also have a few other things to cook. We have eggs to cook. That's going to take the least amount of time. We're going to do that last. You will get flour on your clothes. Most likely. I'm thinking about buying an apron. What do you think? I need an apron that says "Kiss the Cook" or something like that. Something cool. Alright, let's see here. Or one of those full bodies of like a bikini or something. I'll be the cook behind it. I think that's cool. Alright, so there we go. That's so much better, man. Getting things clean. That's why I don't mind using my counter. I keep this thing clean. But I did specifically wipe it down right before this event, just so you know. Now I ended up getting flour on the floor. Now that I've used this for the countertop, this is going to the dirty clothes next. But before that, I'm going to use it to get all this flour off the floor. Just to be a little bit more, but I'll sweep that up later. Boom, so we got that looking better already. And back to the holder. Alright, so the other thing I want to do this morning, we have the biscuits cooking now. I think they take, let's see what this bag says. 450. 14 minutes, 10 to 14 minutes. So I'm going to do something a little maybe untraditional. We'll see how it turns out. Hopefully what we're going to be having is pork chop, egg, and cheese biscuit. So I have my pork chops here. I got the ribeye chops. They're really super tender, man. They're really good. Okay, so go ahead and get our eye on for that. Hope you guys slept well. Hope you got to sleep in a little bit. Maybe you're just waking up now. And that's okay. Hey, you worked all week. You get to sleep in on Saturday. That's part of it right there, man. But you probably had your kids wide awake first thing, and they probably woke you up. Like, I want to play. I want to do something. So, let's see. We have our pan heating up here. And let's get these chops out. I like to rinse my meat. I think that's crucial. I have more than we need for breakfast, so the leftover pork chops I'm just going to cook, and I'll have those cooked and ready for later, you know. Put them in a container and be ready to go. Need a snack later on today. I don't know if you can see me right now. You probably can't. Sorry. I'll readjust the camera in a second. Boom. Here we go. Now we're multitasking. Okay, we have our pork chops out. We have them rinsed. And now it's time for seasoning. Let me get you set up over here so you can see what's going on. Now it's time for seasoning. So what we're going to go with is so I'd like to do some applewood rub maybe. Oh, that's breakfast. We always start with the basics that we know need to go in there. Side down. Alright, so the basics. Garlic. Pepper. Something's telling me to go with this kicking chicken. Let's see what this turns out to be like. Alright, a little bit of oil in the pan. Swirl that around the pan. It's our biscuit. Oh my god, look at the biscuits are starting to rise. At least they're rising. Those other ones were funky, man. Those are, it reminds me, what's that place in Wilson that has these weird kind of biscuits just like this? It's over there by the mall. I can't think of the name of it. But that's exactly what their biscuits remind me of. Alright, I'm going to go ahead and throw these in the pan. I got one side seasoned. Put the seasoned side down. I don't know if we're going to be able to hold all these at one time. We might. But they don't take long to cook. So since we know that, we'll go ahead and get another plate set up. And let's season the back side. Can you see that? Yeah, let's season the back side. Alright, and now I can't forget the pepper. And the garlic. Okay, let's see. Cut the eye back up. Oh man, I'm excited about the biscuits. We need to get this show on the road. These biscuits are cooking faster than I thought. Alright, so we'll put the eggs out. And the cheese. Alright, spatula. Chops. So the eggs will be the last thing we do. Now I'm excited. This might actually work. This might actually work. My goal is to put the pork chop inside the biscuit. You know, I could have that on the side and just have biscuits, eggs. But I want to learn how to do gravy too. You see that? The lights under the counter just cut on by themselves. What in the world is going on? They want to party today. It must be party time. What is going on? So it comes with this little remote right here. And I have a sensor here hidden on the side. So that's where the sensor is. You can push any of these buttons. You can change the color. So now it's turquoise. Go to, that's the dance. Green, purple. It's pretty cool, man. It was real easy to install too. It looks good at nighttime. You should get one of these. Now it does a fade. Anyways, you're not here for that. I just want to show you that because it just automatically just been cutting on, man. It's made in China. Maybe that's the signal. They're sending the signal. They're ready to invade. Anyways, let's see here. Pork chops are, the pan's getting hot again. I made a mistake of letting the pan get a little cooled off, but it's all good. I had the pan right where we need it now, temperature wise. I have that oil cooking, and what that's going to do is it's not going to burn the bottom in the same way, it's going to give it like a crispier shell, in my opinion. You'll see. You shall see. Let's see here. See how it's done on, you can look on the side. You see how it's done on the bottom. It's done nearly halfway. So I'm going to cook these about maybe 2 to 3 minutes on one side, and then I'm going to flip them. See, these ones right here in the middle are going to get a little bit hotter than these ones on the outside. Maybe your stove's different. Maybe you have a different pan. But I'm going to go ahead and flip. There we go. Ooh, yeah, that's going to be good, especially if you have enough biscuits, which we don't with a little pan. This is just an experiment. These biscuits are white too, boy. Look at that flour, that extra flour I put on top. I messed that up. That's my fault. Hey, lesson learned right there, starting to brown. Let's see what it's starting to look like. Starting to brown a little bit, but yeah, they are powder monsters. Flour monsters, I forgot. So I learned a lesson. Hey, I'll put some butter on top of that. Maybe it'll go away. We'll see. I know you're supposed to put melted butter. All right, chops are starting to cook really well. Make sure everything's getting its fair share of the heat. I kind of move it around a little. You see how I have space for another chop to go in there? You don't ever want to mix this raw with this cook. You don't want to do that. You want to wait till these are done, get them out of the pan, and then add the raw. Because you will, man, pork is something you don't want to play with. Oh my goodness. You ever been sick off of pork, man? It's something like you don't never want to eat that stuff again at all. It's the worst. I'll tell you, the only reason I know is because I went to this, for some reason I went to like this, it's like a flea market. It's for mostly Hispanics, and I went out there and I had these tacos. Maybe they set me up, I don't know, but I had these pork tacos, man. I felt like real bad. Put it that way. I'll never eat at a place like that again. That's not in a restaurant. Big mistake. Man, that's cooking nicely. The biscuits, I'm just going to tap the biscuits to see what's going on. Oh, they're done. The biscuits are done, baby. Okay, alright, the biscuits done. Now let's see. Oh man, it don't seem too bad actually. I'm kind of impressed. Just the flour, I can't take credit for it. That flour company is really, I could tell a huge difference. And what they did is they added baking soda or baking powder and baking soda into there. I think that's what makes it rise. And the other just didn't have it. So you notice I'm flipping these, quite frequently. I want them to be done evenly on both sides. They're tender, they're not getting crispy or hard or burnt. I'm not allowing that to happen. But in the meantime, I'm going to take, I already have the bowl out. I'm going to get my eggs mixed up. Have scrambled eggs. Okay, let's get those right there. I got to get my show on the road because the biscuits are already done. That's why I was trying to time everything around. So just so you know, the biscuits do not take that long. I got large eggs instead of extra large eggs this time, and it seems like it definitely takes an extra egg. So you kind of get what you pay for in that situation. Just not like you wanted to know that, but I like to teach anytime I can. Move that raw out of the way. Alright, so I got a fresh fork to whisk up my eggs. I'm going to go ahead and get that going over here away from that so you can see me whisk. My little helper's in here now, so she's going to help us record. Maybe this will turn out better. Here we go. Alright, can you see? Hit that flashlight button so you can see. There you go. Perfect. Now we'll whisk those eggs. I put 4 eggs in there. Make sure you pop those yolks and just get it stirring real good. Comes to eggs, in my opinion, you must add pepper, and you must have a little bit of salt. A little bit. Remember, this container pours out a lot. There we go. So I put the appropriate amount of salt in there. I never used to add salt to my eggs, and I noticed that they had a totally different flavor after I started using salt. made a much better flavor. And I have a secret I'm about to tell you I've never shown anybody. It might be common sense to some of y'all. Make sure we're not burning our pork chops. Perfect. Okay. So we're done with the eggs. We put the eggs away. And what's next? The secret for the eggs. A little bit of butter. And I'm out of hand towels. I don't know where they're at. Let's see here. A little bit of butter and a little splash of milk. Perfect. Make sure that butter gets circulated. You can mash it down. I shouldn't have told y'all that, man. That's top secret stuff right there. Oh my goodness. But I gotta share, man. I'm not a type of person that wants to hoard knowledge and information. If I've learned something, then I can disseminate to you and help you grow and learn, and especially in the world of cooking, if I can help you do that, become better, more, greater, stronger, faster, everything listed that I just said, hey, that's my goal. I want to make everyone a better cook, even if I have to give away some of the best secrets. So those are going to be really fluffy eggs now. They're going to have the flavor, and you'll see the end result. Now, I get the feeling that pork chops need to be flipped one last time. Okay, yep, something was telling me. You see how they're really browning really well? Something was telling me, and my nose, I think, was the one telling me, hey, it's time to flip those. But hey, I like a little shell like that. I like a little bit of a crispy brown. Oh, that one tried to flip back. I like a little bit of that crispy brown on the back side. It makes such great flavor. These are done. These pork chops are done. But I want to get that back on the other side just as crispy as I have this right here. So I can't cut the heat off because I have those to do. Alright, so we have our eggs ready. We're going to have to, let's see. We're going to have to just cook those pork chops in a second after we do this. So let me rinse my spatula. You don't want to try to mix the two. Here, hold that. Thank you. Oh, I'm so excited about the biscuits, man. They're going to be good. My mama will be proud, man. I had this thing called a mama. Some of y'all have a grandma, but I had a mama from Kentucky. That's where my mama lived whenever I knew her. And she passed away now, of course. But that sweet woman could make some biscuits, let me tell you. And it passed on to my dad. And my dad, he's trying to